I'd start off most by saying, well, you know what architecture is about, which is about buildings and designed and being built. Well, you can only build buildings in this country if you have permission to do so. And that involves all sorts of negotiations. Otherwise, we'd have all sorts of New York type buildings built in rural Surrey. So the idea is that we have to have restrictions. And what I do is I get you those permissions. I work with the architects and the clients who own the land or the buildings, and we eventually get permission to build what you see being built around England. If you think about a building, it's the size of the building, the location of the building, how tall it is, what's in the building. Also, we do changes of use. So if you have an existing building, changing the use of that building very often will also require permission. So if you move a convent into a nightclub, there's a lot of issues normally with that. So it requires all the thoughts about what impact will there be, arguing why it would be acceptable, and anything you might need to do to make it acceptable, such as soundproofing, hours that it's open. So it's the whole gamut, everything from literally from the car parking spaces and disabled all the way up to massive, it's a tall building, it's a tower. Can I see it from, the next county? You need a good analytical approach towards learning. But after that, once you've got that, and assuming you can understand and assimilate information, it's about being personable, outgoing ideally, because so much is about working with clients and working with the community to get them on your side, to understand exactly what it is that you're trying to do. So you're a little bit chameleon-like as well, because sometimes you're going in and working in a labour-based local authority who have very different approach towards development. They don't really want the inverted commas greedy developer going in and taking all of their land and building housing. They actually want more social elements. They want more affordable housing. They want less development. So you need to understand that, and you need to understand where people are coming from. So it's never an adversarial, really. It's actually understanding people's motivations and then trying to let them understand where you're coming from, and then hopefully an element of coercion to understand, do you see my side? I understand yours, so therefore can we agree that there is a middle way that actually is the right way? And that's what it's about. So being personable, being able to speak to people, deal with people is really a big part of it. And once you get over that first part of report writing and you're actually guiding what needs to be done, and you, after a few years, you don't do much of the report writing, most of your work is about actually insight, visioning, meeting people, and bringing work in as well. And that's really good fun. I moved into it because my father was a lawyer. I wasn't clever enough to be a lawyer, trying to follow my father, but I like geography. So my careers master said, well, actually, why don't you do geography and English as an A-level and biology? Don't know why. And then from there, the careers master said, well, actually, what have you thought about what you want to do? And I said, well, I really like architecture. I like geography. I like law. I didn't much like writing. It was a weakness in my original career, but actually I was a grafter, and it didn't come easy, even though I was doing English as an A-level, to actually write reports. But it was the balance. And luckily, and through just focusing on your own strengths, I was better with clients most probably than report writing when I started out. But you have to go through that, as I said earlier. And therefore, I decided to go and do town planning because actually it was a good blend. It was law, it was architecture, it was vision, it was working with clients, and it had everything I thought it was going to have. Make as many contacts as you can, and walk around with your eyes wide open. So many people, not too many, but some people within the industry are academically based, and actually that's fine, and there is a role for all people. But actually, I think the best planners are the ones that actually look around and form links that may not be immediately evident. So, have a love of something, have a love of sustainability, pull that into the industry. You can focus on that area of the industry. If you like people, you'll mostly focus more about the public consultation element of the business. If you like architecture, you'll become more of an urban planner rather than a legal planner. If you love law, you'll become an adversary in relation to planning and appeals. So whatever your passion is, explore it, try it out, push it, and make contacts in that area, and as many contacts as you can, because actually over time, there's nothing better than I have an issue here, but actually I know that what the answer is. I know somebody that can help me, and I think that's the one thing in terms of just get out there, enjoy yourself, and actually just do as much as you can.